Hey guys, it's Cloud. Welcome back to another video. I wanted to apologize because I haven't uploaded in a year, and I understand that some people were missing or wanted to see some more of my content. A lot of personal stuff happened I had to take care of, been looking for more work, focusing on music production. By the way, the music in the background is the lo-fi that I actually have made. I still do EDM, still refining my skills as of current. But yeah, I just wanted to apologize. I know there are some people who wanted more from me, and again, I wanted to apologize. So, I want to hop on the bandwagon of Battlefield
with magical songs of
Field 6. So I have a couple of categories and sections that will be in the time. They will be timestamped, so you guys can jump to whatever you want to jump to. But anyway, I want to hop into the video and make sure that I get my thoughts, my opinions, and feel free to comment, like, and share it to some people who may feel the same way, or that are planning to buy the game. These are the issues that I've found, and yeah, so let's get into the video. So the first section I want to get into is gunplay and weapon balance. Assault rifles, I feel like, could have a bit more damage range. My personal opinion, I feel like, for example, if I'm shooting someone from 30+ meters, I should have an extra 2 damage to the body, I feel like. And obviously then you have your soft point rounds, and then there's another type of round that they have for the AK AR that's like a fucking laser beam that does like 200 to the head. Well, not 200, 2x to the head for criticals. I genuinely kind of feel like that the AR should have a bit more damage range, me personally. Future Cloud edit here. I also just did find a rumor for the maps. It's a supposed leak. I don't want to sit there and say it's definite, but this is a leak here. I'm gonna put it up on the screen here of what the maps are, how big the maps are going to be. I just wanted to put this in here since I just found this. So that's another reason I feel like the AR should have a bit more range to them. Anyways, back to the video. Then now shotguns are a bit inconsistent. So are like pistols. All the guns are very inconsistent, but I've noticed a lot of inconsistencies with shotguns. Now, my thing is that I have ran the M4, right? Which is one of the best guns in the game right now. And I've noticed with specific situations where the M4 is just not hitting, and I've noticed this with other weapons as well. I do believe that there is some desync going on. I do believe that there is something going on when it comes to hit registry. And I'm not the only person that has been speaking out about this. I've heard this from other people. I've also, have some clips. One of my buddies, he was running a shotgun. I'm gonna put this clip up on the screen right now. So they definitely need to fix that, because at the end of the day, you can't have that in a game and expect it to be fun. It's a huge annoyance to not just me, but to everyone else who plays. And if you're paying attention to some of my gameplay, you can actually see this happen on occasion. Just make sure you pay attention. There are examples in the gameplay. So just make sure that you are paying attention to the gameplay as you watch and listen to this video. If you're also listening to this video and not paying attention, you're just playing a game and you're just listening like it was a fucking Audible book, that's fine too. But when you have time, come back and just kind of watch a little bit if you can. But there are situations where this does happen. But yeah. Now, I am aware that they are fixing recoil, but I still want to touch up on it here. Now, here is a couple of videos of me in the firing range with some of these weapons. These have little to zero recoil, and they really need to add some recoil to these guns. It is just insane how you can laser with these SMGs, the LMG. If you look at this fucking LMG, it is just crazy. Add a little bit more gun kick at least, but I just wanted to pull this up too as well, just to kind of showcase what I'm talking about by the recoil. Now, I want to talk about the Thermite gadget. There is no fucking reason the Thermite gadget should be doing 75% of my health and not allowing me to move. And then normally when I get hit with it, I'm getting bum rushed by 2 fucking people. I feel like I'm Stephen Hawking stuck at the top of the stairs during a fucking house fire, getting chased around by Carl Panzram and Albert Fish. You don't know who they are? Look them up. Because I'm gonna tell you, they both royally fuck me.
Somebody's getting fucked.
Albert Fish uses my mouth as a fucking fleshlight, and then Carl Panzram uses my ass as a toy.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
I'm getting brutally fucked, and then proceedingly killed. That's what happens. So I honestly think that thermite gadget needs to be nerfed.
Nerf or nothing.
Now, the explosive gadget, the explosive grenade launcher, right? I honestly do believe that grenade launcher should not be doing the 13, 17 damage that you probably have done too with it. I feel like if it's right next to them within a specific radius, it should either do 50% damage, do 50 damage, or up to 75, depending on how close they are. Now, again, this may change. Hopefully it does, to where it does that amount of damage, because it is the most unviable fucking thing to use if you're trying to get them off the point. It is horrible. Horrible. And only 39 damage to a tank? What? What the fuck with that fucking thing? Oh, come on. Come on. A fucking grenade launcher. Come the fuck on. Do a bit more damage for that. Come on. Jesus fuck me. Like, it's how many times I have done 30 to 40 damage to a tank with that fucking thing, and then half my team are not running engineers to blow the tanks up, so it's like there's nothing much I could do. And even if it were only me using the RPG with engineer, it doesn't really help, because then they have engineers repairing their tanks and my team is too busy jerking themselves off and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. But anyway, I think that they need to be adjusted. They need to be adjusted. They need to be refined. It's a good idea. I like where they're going with it, but it needs to be better. Things need to be buffed. Some things need to be nerfed. That's just my thoughts on the gadgets for the assault class. By the way, every gadget for every other class I have no problem with. It's just that those two I just are the bane of my existence. Now I want to talk about snipers. The sniper that we're using shoots a 7.62 X51 NATO round. Please tell me how the this fucking round is going through your chest and you surviving. It's insane to me. It is fucking insane. Like, please explain to me how you're taking 67 to the chest and living to tell the tale. How does that make any sense? Yep. This is realism, right? That's not realistic. Like, the rounds may not be that big. They are chunky boys, but that bullet going through you, that shit's going fast. That shit is going fucking fast.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Future me coming in again here. Now, I have this clip. I was showing my buddy some of the video editing I was doing, and he said that he had a clip that he wanted to show me, and I asked him if I could include it in the video. He was okay with it. I will promote him down in the description down below, so feel free to give him a subscribe, a follow, whatever the case is. But anyway, I want to put up this clip here because I want to make this quick, just to further push my point. Now, you could see during this clip here, he is obviously shooting this person. It's a clean shot, and he gets the hit marker for 80 damage. This should not have been 80 damage. This should have been a kill. a clean kill. And he's pretty good with his aiming. You know, I'll put up another clip here when the damage actually is doing what it's supposed to do. But anyways, you can see that he's not a bad player. He's a pretty good player. But this is a kill that he should have gotten, and he didn't. And not only have I experienced stuff like this, but a lot of other players have as well. Sniping does need to be revamped completely when it comes to damage range, the crit areas, what is a one shot, one kill, etc. That's going through you. It still takes skill to shoot them in the sternum and above. It's not like it's crazy, like fucking, like, you know, it's not that it's impossible to do. It's not that it's insanely hard to do. It's above average. It takes an above average skilled player to pull that off. But I genuinely do feel like that, yes, making headshots one shot, one kills, yes, it promotes you more to go for headshots, but again, not everybody is going to hit headshots. And I'm not saying everybody should be getting kills with a sniper. It's just that it gives more a realistic feel. Like, there's no reason I should be shooting someone in the fucking jugular and, you know, they're sitting there taunting me, doing, you know, Fortnite dancing on, you know, across the fucking map, you know? So, you know, I really don't need that shit. I honestly think that sniper should one-shot. Granted, it's the beta sniper, so they're probably gonna buff it. But I genuinely do believe that sniper should one-shot sternum and above. Again, they're gonna be fixing the glare, the glint stuff, so that made it really hard to see an actual player. I would see the glint more than I would see the fucking player, which is not actually helpful. I feel like that they can nerf down the glint when you're not zoomed into them, but when you're zoomed in, the glint would be a lot less. I feel like that would be a lot nicer to do. I mean, that's just my personal preference on it. I've seen some people having no problem. I've seen a lot of people having problems actually sniping and stuff like that, and them saying something similar. But honestly, you know, with the glints that they are now, I swear to God, I feel like I'm looking at a fucking constellation. Like, it makes no fucking sense. But yeah, snipers should be one-shotting sternum and above. And granted, I don't think they should be one-shotting in the stomach. Realistically, they would in real life, but again, this is a video game. You need to keep a balance. But I feel like with the snipers being so unrealistic when it comes to that, I actually feel like Battlefield's identity is a bit different, because I remember playing Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1. Snipers were pretty effective. Snipers were very effective. Now they're just kind of not. And I don't know why people are saying, oh, it's the same. It's not really the same. It's not. Like, I played Battlefield 5 and snipers were fucking great. Battlefield 5 also wasn't great, though, to be fair. Battlefield 2042 was shit at launch, but then later actually became a decent game after they fixed all the fucking problems, which there is still some problems. But again, snipers just feel very underwhelming. Granted, yes, snipers in real life, they typically mainly meant for recon, but again, it's a fucking game. You already have a good amount of unrealism within it, and trying to incorporate realism, but then also having things that are super unrealistic and that screw with the balance, it kind of makes it where I feel like this Battlefield, with how much realism it has and how much unrealism it has, it's not an even balance. And I feel like Battlefield 6 is having a fucking minor identity crisis, like they're a fucking Gen Z with fucking starburst colored fucking hair and nose piercings everywhere all over their fucking body, you know? Fucking demorphed homunculus looking motherfuckers. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, that's how I kind of feel. I feel like the game itself doesn't have that much of an identity. It's like it doesn't know what it is right now. Granted, it's a beta, so I can't judge too much. And if anyone took offense to that, like, identity thing, go fuck yourself. It's a fucking joke. Fuck off, cunt. I mean, to be honest, if you could take a dick, you could take a fucking joke. Let's be real. But anyway, but the sniper should be genuinely one shot, I feel like. That's my issue with snipers. Now, with pistols, I feel like pistols are not as reliable. I remember back in, like, Battlefield 2042, pistols were good. Like, you can actually, you know, pull out your pistol and actually get the kill. With this game, you just kind of can't. Yes, I'm comparing it to 2042 due to the fact this is post all the fucking bugs. This is after all the bugs and things were fixed. But when it came to pistols, pistols felt more viable. You know, pistols actually felt like you can use them. This game, you just kind of can't. It's not a very viable weapon. The damage it does, it could be better. Like, there are times where I've had like 5 rounds left in my mag. I missed 2 to 3 shots. That's on me. But at the same time, you should be able to pull out your pistol if you miss a couple. Not everyone's going to hit every fucking shot. And you should be able to get the kill. With pistols, it's not always the case. And I think that hit detection plays a part in it, but I feel like pistols should be doing more than 17 damage to the body. I feel like it should be doing like 19. That would feel a lot more reasonable. Or like even 18. I'll take that. Like, the fuck? But that's my issues really with pistols, to be honest. I mean, not really much on the pistols, just buff them a little bit. Now, this is my own personal preference. I genuinely feel like, for example, the NVO. You can't run a suppressor on it. It does 33 damage. That's a lot of fucking damage. You know? That's a lot of damage.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
So I feel like that instead of having like, you can have a suppressor on it, but instead of it having no con, you know, like no negative effect, it should have a negative effect. For example, on the NVO, the suppressor can take away 3 damage points. So it'll do 30 damage. Which is reasonable, including if you're running soft point, it you know, it can maybe nerf how much soft point does. Maybe, right? For example, on the M4, the most popular M4, the M4A1, right? Fast fire rate. A suppressor on that can nerf how much the fire rate does to it, like how much fire rate it has. You know, I think that what I would call a dynamic attachment system would go super cool with this game. I think it'll be a super cool addition, and I think that we could see some crazy, unique classes and way different performing classes from people in the community. I think it'll be super cool, a super cool addition to have, or at least as a test update to see if people like it, or think it can balance the game out further. That's my thought on that. Now, the Bloom issue, they've already addressed. They're already on it, so I'm not going to get into it. Typically, when you would ADS or strafe, the Bloom would intensify and stuff like that as well. So that has been an issue. There also has been other issues with visual bugs, which I'm going to get into later, but we'll get to that when the time comes. I want to move on to the next section now. The next section I want to get into is player health and utilities. So I feel like that the health regeneration on smaller modes that are 8v8 modes, like Domination, King of the Hill, and I'm pretty sure they're going to add other modes like Hardpoint, Kill Confirmed, and other stuff. I mean, again, you're trying to steal the Call of Duty players, so you need to kind of add some modes that they want to play. And now for those who are sitting there and saying, hey, why are we adding these modes? Just don't play them. You want them to kill Call of Duty, right? So you need to kind of give a little, you know what I mean? And again, like, you don't have to play them. You can just put it in your queue thing in the custom search and just don't have it there. You know, they'll play what they want to play, and then you'll play what you want to play. Yeah, you're kind of segregating the community. You know, like we're back in the 40s. But again, when it comes down to it, like, you're trying to steal a player base, you kind of have to accommodate a little bit. And that's fine. I'm cool with that. I'm cool to also play Domination here and there just to change up the pacing a little bit. That's fine with me. I don't care. You know? But I feel like that the health on those smaller games, you need to have a faster regen speed. Either faster to start regeneration or faster regeneration itself when it actually starts to regenerate, like double the speed or something like that. You know what I mean? Just something where I can engage more often. If it's going to be a fast-paced shooter, I feel like I should have health that will give me that ability to play that way. You know what I'm saying? Since there's no stim shots, there's no way to automatically heal, you're kind of relying on your medics, which normally people aren't reviving. They're kind of just standing there, ignoring you. No one really plays a role that much in those modes. So I would try to compensate a little bit for it, you know? But other than that, I mean, I really do think that they should have better health for those faster paced modes, which would also promote people to kind of play a bit more fast paced. it's just a cancer show when it comes to the domination game. I feel like that they can refine it further. That's just my own thoughts on when it comes to the player health for those smaller modes. Now, I want to talk about the support class and assault class. I don't think that the support class should be called the support class. I think it should be the classic medic class, due to the fact of it's mainly prioritized towards keeping your teammates alive. So I would find medic class a lot more suited for that specialist. Assault class, I see what they did with assault class. They gave you less ammo, gave you an extra primary, and ammo for that primary. But I feel like having a more limited selection on your second primary, but having more ammo would be a lot more balanced, I feel. Again, you don't want it too balanced because, again, each role plays a part, where the assault's usually on the front lines, getting all the kills, keep getting them off the point, and then support is kind of like the people who kind of stay back a little bit, revive, and stay with the teammates to make sure that they don't die, and that they could supply them with either with ammo or with healing. So I get that, but at the same time, I feel like the assault class should have ammo, and the medic should just have just the healing circle thing that you can go into that speeds up your healing. That's my own personal preference. Obviously, if you want to run the ability to put down ammo, you should it would get rid of for example, the gadget, for example, to balance it out a bit more. That's just my own personal preference. Again, this is personal. This is what I think. Everything in this video is personal. Like what I believe should change, or a majority of it is personal. Besides like the desync problems, that should obviously be changed. So that's my only thought when it comes to the player health and utilities. I do want to move on to the next section. This will be a longer video, so I want to try to speed through this as quick as possible. So, one thing I want to touch up on is the movement mechanics. Sometimes they feel clunky, sometimes they don't. I don't know why. It could be just, again, beta, but hopefully they address it in the official release of the game. I believe it's coming out in this mid-October. Then vaulting and climbing, you can't vault over a lot of things you should be able to. Like, for example, in Aklov Peak, on that map for domination, the domination version of the map, and even on the actual conquest breakthrough modes, in that little town where you have, all the houses and all that, the wall next to the street, you can't vault on. You can't vault over it in most scenarios. And I don't know why. It just, certain positions you can't do it, and some you can. In some things you should be able to vault on, and you just plain off can't, and I don't know why. It's very, very dumb in my opinion, and I think that they should definitely fix up and polish the vaulting. Now, listen, hear me out on this one. I have noticed this very subtly, but when I do, it's very annoying. The sprint out time feels a little slow after ADSing. It feels very, very odd. It makes the gameplay a bit inconsistent. That also I feel like contributes to the movement being a bit clunky sometimes. So definitely kind of polishing that up could go a long way when it comes to making the movement even smoother. I never believe anything is perfect or everything is super bad. I believe there's always room for improvement, and there's always potential with things. And there's potential with this. So I definitely love the movement, but besides those couple of issues, I genuinely do feel that it's overall pretty good. Just little touch-ups where they need it, I feel like would go a long way, actually. But that's enough of this section. I want to move on to the next one upcoming now. Now, this section here is more so, I've heard it from other people. This is a bit of my own personal taste in here too. Maps and the map flow. I feel like there's definitely limited fast-paced mode varieties. Again, it's a beta, so hopefully they incorporate some more modes. I've also noticed that on small maps such as Domination, spawns could be a bit finicky. Spawns can definitely be refined a bit more. I feel like, you know, in certain situations that you should spawn more near your team, or if they see that your team is dying in that area a lot, spawn you somewhere a little else. Like, spawn you somewhere else so you can kind of like avoid getting spawn killed. Liberation Peak and Breakthrough is very heavily one-sided. I've heard this from a lot of my friends too, and as someone who has played Liberation Peak on Breakthrough, it is very... Defenders have leverage. A lot of leverage off rip. Not a big fan of that, and you're relying on a lot of your team to do well and to play their part, and if people aren't doing that, well, good luck. I feel like on smaller maps such as Domination and King of the Hill, I feel like the destruction's a bit too much. Like, I shoot one bomb, like 2 bombs at a wall, and it breaks down the entire side of the building. I feel like that a bit of smaller destruction, you know, would be nice. Kind of instead of breaking down the whole wall, it just breaks a portion. I do like the vertical breaking, though. That is really, really sick. I do love that a lot. I love the destruction, the vertical destruction. It's super, super nice, previous from other Battlefield games. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool implementation. I feel like it could definitely be brought down a bit, though. And again, kind of going into the vaulting again, there is limited vaulting for certain maps. I feel like vaulting could be a bit more ability to vault over more things in the map and in the game. So again, creating flank routes, but also trying to get out of specific really bad situations that you need to. So that's really it for the maps and the map flow overall. But yeah, I'm gonna go on to the next section here. Communication and social features is this section here. There's not a lot for this one, but yeah, I'll keep this one super short. It's only 2 things. The lack of proximity voice chat. I feel like a prox chat in this would be super fucking hilarious, especially not to mention in a battle royale. I'm probably not going to be playing a lot of battle royale for this game. I'm not a big fan of battle royale. I'm fucking burnt the fuck out of it. I really don't want anything to do with it. Like, it's just so oversaturated. It's just not really fun anymore. I'll still give it a try though. But I feel like there should be some prox chat in Breakthrough, Rush, etc. to communicate with the rest of your team so you can be able to adapt to specific situations. Like, I'm not gonna have fucking time to sit there, type in a fucking team chat and be like, hey, yo, he's rushing us up this side of the building. Like, halfway through that fucking typing that, he's already here shooting at all of us. So I feel like that adding some sort of prox chat to communicate with your team, to adapt to situations, would be a lot easier, would be a lot more fun, and I think that would be could make it easier to strategize with your team, especially in the 8v8, which I don't really understand why you can't talk to your whole team on 8v8 modes, but only your squad. I find that completely dumb. I feel like that they should definitely kind of do a team chat, a team voice chat, or have an option for it. Not like a lot of people fucking use the fucking voice chat anyway. And it's funny because there was this one time I was playing and, you know, I was, you know, fucking, you know, was playing and I called the guy a fuckhead because he was sitting in the corner with a shotgun. I never really encountered that, so it was just kind of funny, but it was still kind of annoyed me. And my teammates said, dude, why are you talking to the guy? I'm like, why are you not? Like, the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you playing this game and have voice chat on if you're not going to use it? Like, use the fucking voice chat. Like, how do you expect to win a match if you're not communicating with your team? You know, considering he's running support, running around, fucking shooting at people, not reviving anyone, like he's playing his fucking part. Like, he must be loved at Thanksgiving fucking dinner. He must be the family fucking favorite. Anyway. So, but it's just something that I personally would add is a team chat for smaller base modes, and a prox chat would be super cool feature to add. Again, the team chat voice chat should already be a feature in the 8v8 mode. So yeah, so that's enough on this section. I'm gonna move on to the next one here. Now, I kind of want to get into the sound and audio section. I don't have many complaints other than the spatial audio not being great. It makes it difficult for me to hear if players are below me or above me. I also noticed too on some occasions that it's hard to make out if they're running on a wood surface, concrete. Sometimes I've noticed that is sometimes a problem. Usually I have no problem hearing where the footsteps are coming from, but in this game, I just feel like the directional audio is not great because it sounds like he's coming from one direction, but he's actually coming from a different direction. Say, for example, there are two routes in front of me. There is one coming from the left and one coming from in front, but he has to go around the right. Sometimes it sounds like he's coming from the left, but he's actually coming from the right. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I feel like that it can kind of be revamped and just polished up. But other than that, I mean, it's just, that's one of my biggest issues with the sound and audio. There are other ones, such as certain sounds sometimes blend in too much with the ambience in the background, which kind of screws up your situational awareness, where players are, how close they are, etc. I've noticed a little bit on occasion that audio cues for close quarters combat sometimes trigger a bit late. I noticed that too. This is just me being nitpicky, but typically, I mean, the sound needs to be on point, especially the directional audio. I would definitely just refine it further because it can definitely be better. 100% could be better. So, I wanted to say this because I see a lot of streamers talking about Battlefield 6 needing a battle pass, needing a reason to log in. What? No, that is a shit argument.
Chat, I really like the game. I think the game is good. I think it's fun, but it's unfortunate to say these days, but in order to keep a game big and alive, fun is not good enough. No! You need a lot of different facets that kind of evolve with the game. Just what it is. Like these days, bro, you need to have everything. For it to be like at the top and very popular. Like A's have like battle pass. No! Skins. It is what it is. It's lame that it's like this, but it's like this.
You think Battle Royale?
No! I love playing Battle Royales.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
Since if you want to.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
No, like, it doesn't need a battle royale. It doesn't need that to be alive. A game doesn't need battle royale to live. It just needs to be a good game. Just because it isn't battle royale doesn't mean it won't be successful. That is the dumbest shit I ever heard. I honestly hate battle royale because all these content creators are, oh, battle royale, that's all they fucking do.
Battle Royale, Battle Royale, Battle Royale.
Battle Royale, Battle Royale, BR.
Battle Royale, BR, Battle Royale.
And it does no variety in what they do, how they do it. The only exception to that is Timmy Toucans, which, by the way, I got a game with Timmy Toucans. I'm gonna put it up on the screen right here. I was in a game with Timmy Toucans. I tried to clip it in his stream, but he had clips disabled. So, you know, my buddy even captured me flipping out to Timmy Toucans. Here, I'm gonna put it up too. But again, you can see that I was able to get a game with them, and he was, well, know what he was doing? He was dicking around in domination. Just exactly what he does in Battle Royale. All these streamers who win Battle Royale, rebirth this, all that crap, it is so oversaturated. There's no variety. There's no fun in it. Like, me personally, I don't give a fuck if you're good. If there's no personality and you're not funny, you can go kick fucking rocks. Here's a pebble, start skipping, sweetheart. I'm not doing that. I don't fuck with that. Honestly, Battlefield does not need a battle royale. It doesn't. You want battle royale, stick with Call of Duty. Most of these streamers are already being paid off by them anyway. Most of these streamers are dick riding Call of Duty. And if you're a streamer that sees this, dick ride Call of Duty. Get away from Battlefield. Get away with that shit. If you want to come play Battlefield to play Battlefield the way that Battlefield was intended, we're completely open to taking you in. That's cool. That's fine. I'm not against you playing, but don't come into this game trying to change it to fit your general populace on your stream. Please do not. We don't want you here. People like that, we don't want you here. Simple. Not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be rude, but us, the community, doesn't want you here. Yes, I played COD for 17 years. Doesn't mean I didn't fucking dick around with in Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. I still played it. I still bought the games. Granted, I played Call of Duty more because I was also a kid. I didn't know what I was doing in Battlefield. You know, at the end of the day, I enjoyed Battlefield. Battlefield has a place in my heart. So I want to be, you know, I want to play the game the way the game was intended to be played. And honestly, there's a lot of Battlefield players that feel the same way. Battlefield doesn't need a battle royale. It doesn't need it to be alive. It doesn't need it. And to think that a game needs a battle royale to be successful is completely fucking delusional. It is completely delusional. But I will be saving this topic in a future video. I will be reviewing what streamers say when the game officially releases, or maybe even sooner. But I will be doing a video on this in the future. I just wanted to point this out here because this shit is so annoying. So we're gonna move on to the last section here now. Before we get into this next section here, I did want to put this in. This is future me editing, make another editing mistake, but I'm gonna correct it here. Now I noticed this visual bug when I was in a lobby. You can see his hand. It's not meant to be there. So I just thought it was kind of funny. Then we have some visual bug when you're running around or just over vaulting. It kind of happens at random, I've seen, but I've seen people like online where they just swap their gun and it fixes it sometimes. But I'm gonna put that up on the screen here too, what kind of happens sometimes. But yeah, I mean, again, this is a beta, so I'm not going to criticize too much. I guarantee they're going to fix this stuff. They're already fixing a lot of stuff without us even having to say anything, which is great. But I also wanted to sit there and put down as well that when I was trying to get domination games, and only domination, I noticed that, for example, right here, it took me about 3 minutes and 2 seconds to get a match. This other time, which was later, it took me around 4 minutes and 3 seconds to get a match. That was not very fun, but again, it's a beta. So again, a lot of it's just being tested. A lot of the servers are still, you know, they're being put under like on.
Yeah? Stan says you're a cunt. You're a cunt. Stan says you're a cunt. Cunt. Well, tell Stan to fuck off. You're a continuing source of inspiration to him.
Like they're being overloaded to test them. So again, I'm not going to criticize too much on it. I just thought I should add this here. But anyway, sorry, I just want to, you know, include this in. But let's get into the next section here. So this section here is going to be a mix of the keybinds and the settings and a bit of UI. So I've also noticed when I'm knocked, it sometimes doesn't ping enemies. Not a big fan of that. Granted, it's a beta, so a lot of these are probable bugs, but I can't ping, like most of the time I can't ping enemies when I'm knocked. Another thing I've noticed too, when I try to deploy, when I click to deploy, sometimes pressing space doesn't work. I have to actually click the deploy button. Notice that as well. And when it comes down to the console, sometimes I have like when I first started playing, they fixed it now, but when I tried to use the grave key for scoreboard, it would open up the console even when I had the option for the console off. But other than that, really everything is great besides their UI for their fucking, like, just the UI for selecting game modes. Why does it look like fucking Netflix? I don't know, but you know what? If the game is fun, I don't give a shit. But they should change that, in my opinion. But other than that, really, like, just besides some of those keybind issues, the game is great. So my conclusion on Battlefield 6, do they have the ability to humble Call of Duty? In my belief, they do. Believe it or not, they do. You have the rustic feel, the sounds are amazing. I mean, the guns feel good despite, you know, a couple of the issues with the guns. Despite the game's issues overall, the game can. In 2 months, they could fix everything. And I mean, to be honest, let's be real. Was this better than 2042 beta? Of course it was. This is probably one of the best betas we've ever had. Despite all the controversy, you know, with people talking negatively about Battlefield 6, people are gonna find something to bitch about. Always. They will refuse to see the good things in it and only look at the bad things. And then just by looking at those bad things, they say it's a shit game. I ignore people like that. That are the type of people to refuse the truth that it overall is a better game. So I will be pre-ordering Battlefield 6. I will be playing it. I will be grinding that game out. And you will see content from me with this game. And a lot more than most of my content in the past. I will not be putting up Call of Duty gameplay anymore. Unless I'm just screwing around with a friend in custom games or whatever. Then I'll just put whatever up. You'll see Assassin's Creed, Origins from me, Battlefield. You're gonna see a variety of different games from me. Even maybe some Fall Guys or whatever in the future. But I'm not gonna just be a Call of Duty commentator. I will be a commentator for all games. I don't want to just limit myself to especially a community that has been dying out and a franchise that is gaslighting majority of the community to a point where people have literally sent them death threats. And I don't want to support a company as scummy as Activision. But anyway, I honestly do believe that Battlefield has the ability, and they will. They're going to take a huge portion of COD players from that game. And after this, all this editing is done, the main parts of the editing for this video, I will be getting on Battlefield 2042, and there will be some gameplay of that as well in the future. So I can't wait, and I'm going to be doing that event stuff in 2042, and I'm going to have a fucking blast doing it. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys have a wonderful one.